My mom died a few days ago. I cried when I first heard about it, and I still cry thinking about her. Annette Feynman was a caring mother, not to mention a wonderful woman. But I didn't just cry because of her death. I cried because I can't even remember the last time I told her I loved her, or the last time I told Mom how much she meant to me. Honestly, I haven't had a meaningful conversation with my family in a very long time. Not since Dad's funeral over a year ago. But like a reunion, funerals always brought our family together. And Mom's was no different. In early January, I headed down to Rincon, Georgia, back to our old neighborhood on Old Augusta Road. The small town hadn't changed much since I last visited, yet I felt a catharsis returning to my hometown. I even felt some excitement at getting the chance to see my younger brother, Ricky. My husband Joe joined me for the service, and weeping, I watched Mama get buried right next to Daddy. Aside from Joe's supportive hug, I was comforted knowing Mama was being laid to rest in her hometown. In Green Cemetery, a small cemetery located right across the street from where me and Ricky had grown up. Considering she'd spent over 50 years on Old Augusta Road, Ricky and me both knew Mama wouldn't want to be buried or cremated anywhere else, especially when she'd have her soulmate resting right by her side. After the service, Ricky and I got stuck reminiscing. He looked good, honestly. He was 5 years younger than me, and at 26, I don't think he felt any pressure to get married and settle down. Not yet, at least. Either way, the stress-free lifestyle definitely showed. Ricky was the same quirky artist he'd always been, the painter without a cause. Still awkward, but cute. And those mischievous hazel eyes always stood out on his scrawny face. I'd admired Ricky's creativity. I'd dabbled in poetry in the past, and he'd always been my biggest champion. More than Mom and Dad ever were. And certainly, more than Joe. Not that Joe wasn't supportive. He was just a practical businessman. You know the type. God knows how he'd react to the vampire poems I'd been writing during my recent bouts with insomnia. To be honest, I just felt inhibited lately. Not because I didn't love Joe, just Atlanta was so much different than life in Rincon. So much more hectic and complicated. An assembly line lifestyle. I could feel my long brown hair going gray, the wrinkles building beneath my glasses, the tummy growing ever so slightly from stressful binge eating. My hazel eyes missed the Ricky-like glimmer they once had. Here, Tuesday Newkirk was literally breaking down mentally and physically, and I'd just turned 31. Hell, I wasn't even a mom yet. Surrounded by all the crumbling graves and mausoleums, Ricky and I's warm conversation imbued what could have been a horror movie set with real joy. Our laughter kept the howling January wind at bay. We were no longer attending our mother's funeral in Rincon's oldest cemetery. We were a brother and sister reunited. I could tell Joe noticed how happy we looked, as if Ricky and me had taken a time machine back to 1999, when Ricky suggested me and some of our cousins stay at Mama's house that night. I was surprised Joe was willing to let me go without him. I figured he'd want to drag me back to our room at the day's inn. After all, his practicality often stifled his sentimentality, but he was cool with it. Mama's house was within walking distance of the cemetery, right across the street to be exact. I guess Green Cemetery had always been like a morbid playground for me and Ricky growing up. A row of one-story blue-collar houses lined up down Old Augusta Road. Mama and Daddy's was amongst them. Over the years, the rest of the homes had gone to shit. Only a few neighbors are left, and all of them were unfriendly. But Mama always kept the house in great shape. The grass was trimmed, her quirky lawn ornaments so cute and warm, and the 2 rocking chairs on the front porch hinted at the southern hospitality waiting inside. Even after her death, Mama's home was still glorious, a welcome sight for my nostalgic eyes. Grinning, Ricky led me and our cousins inside. But even in the cold evening, I stopped on the porch to steal a look back at the cemetery. Beyond all the graves was nothing but woods, a green sea of a forest. The only thing taller than the trees themselves was a cell phone tower, one of the older ones in the city, judging by its bulk and how it tilted to the side like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. A chilly breeze swept through me. Shivering, I pulled my jacket in tighter over my black dress. Behind lonely eyes, I kept my gaze on the cemetery. The finality of Mom's death had been hitting me for days, and now it was reappearing once more like a nasty virus. Particularly the churning guilt gnawing at my soul. There were so many emotions I wanted to spill to Mama, and now I never could. Soon, Ricky came and brought me inside. Mom's touch could be seen throughout the rest of the house, as if the home was preserved in a time warp from our youth. Outside, a light rain formed a steady rhythm. The wind's howls rivaled those of any werewolf. And like our old family visits, me, Ricky, and our cousins all had a great time. We cooked, we drank, we just enjoyed our nostalgic evening together. As the night wore on, our cousins soon went to bed. Always the night owls of the Feynman family, me and Ricky sat on a couch in the living room, right by Mom's basket of collected newspapers. Each of us held a beer can, each of us well past drunk. Scream played on Mom's flat screen, one of our faves growing up. All sorts of cat figurines ran wild in the room. Even a kitten clock hung near the door. Like a shrine, a nearby shelf was overfilled with framed family photos, equally divided between me and Ricky. Just like Mom's heart. "I'm glad you're back," Ricky said to me. I gave him a weak smile. "No, I'm sorry I haven't come back here that often." "Nah, it's fine. It's cool." He took a calm sip of beer. Still conflicted, I looked out a window. Through the soft rain, I strained to see Green Cemetery. Ricky's arm draped around my shoulders. "I know y'all stay busy and all." Comforted, I faced his smile. "I know y'all have like real jobs," Ricky teased. I couldn't help but chuckle. "So do you. You've got serious talent, man." "You do too." Grinning, I looked back toward the window. Amidst the rain, I could still see that January wind ripping through the cemetery's skinny trees. It feels good to be back, really. I took another sip of the reassuring booze. "It should," Ricky said. That charismatic smile crossed his lips once more. "It's your home too, Tuesday." "I know," I returned a grin. "I guess I just need to remember that." Ready to toast, I held my can out towards him. Here's to being a better sister. Nonsense. No, I'm being serious. Amused, Ricky hit his can against my Miller Lite. Well, here's to me visiting you more often. True, I teased. Just make sure Joe doesn't get too pissed. Laughing, I gave Ricky a light shove. Aw, he likes you too. Incessant vibrating shattered through our good vibes. Oh, hold on, I said. I retrieved my buzzing phone. Is that Joe? Ricky asked. Yeah, I said to him as I answered the call. Faint static greeted my ears. Hey, baby, I said, eager to hear Joe's rugged voice. But the static only grew worse, like white noise blasting through a radio station from another dimension. The static so loud, ferocious, and ugly. Joe? I said with unease. Concerned, Ricky leaned in towards me. What's wrong? I pressed the phone closer to my ear. The awful signal was scrambling my brain at this point. Joe, are you there? Tuesday, I heard Joe yell over the static. Vague relief hit me, as well as a nervousness. We weren't outside the Rincon city limits, so why was the service so bad? There was literally a fucking tower across the street. Joe, what's going on? I asked. Where are you? Low groans emerged from the static, but it wasn't Joe, nor was his voice amongst the many indecipherable whispers I heard. All the noises hit me at once, as if a radio was cruising through stations and stations of scary sound effects. Joe! I yelled. This ain't Joe, a harsh voice told me. The man's voice was deep and guttural, like it was transmitting straight from 666 FM. Terrified, I jumped back on my couch. I heard agonizing screams erupt from my phone. Ricky grabbed my shoulder. What happened? Then a soft shatter hit me. A voice more sensitive than whatever the hell I just heard. This voice comforted me, even when it was muffled by all the desperate whispers. Pressing the phone closer to my ear, I turned away from Ricky. Hello, I said. Tuesday, a gentle voice beckoned me. The affectionate tone pierced through the agonizing cries like a gorgeous melody. My mother's voice. Mom, I said. In an emotional instant, tears formed in my eyes. I didn't even bother holding them back. What? I heard a confused Ricky say. Overwhelmed, yet relieved to hear Mom, I placed my can on the floor. Mom, is that you? Yes, sweetie, Mom said, her voice fading in and out amongst all those cries and groans, as if she was trying to adjust the volume. Like an endless river, I felt more tears stream down my face. I'm sorry, Mom, I said. I'm sorry I didn't come see you. I'm sorry I wasn't around to care for you like I should have. I love you, Mom. I love you. At a breakneck pace, my emotions spilled out, like I was exorcising years of regret throughout this barrage of words and tears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom. Supportive, Ricky wrapped his arm around me. I put the phone on speaker, and like I'd unleash an audio spirit world, the voices drew Ricky in. There were the low cries, the collected whispers, and the screams. All of them sounded desperate on this background of unnerving static, saved for Mama's calm tone. Don't be sorry, sweetie, Mom said in her warm southern accent, a delicate deliberateness in her delivery. Don't ever be sorry. Stunned, Ricky looked over at me. Oh my God. Stumbling forward, he placed his can on the ground next to mine. I just want to say I love you, I said to Mom. That's what I've been wanting to say, Mama. There was no reply, just static. Wiping away my tears, I gazed out toward the steady rain. It's what you deserve, I said into the phone. What do you deserve? The deep voice yelled at me. A jarring return to the guttural growl. Shit! I heard Ricky scream in fear. Determined, I glared at the phone. Mom! The ferocious static continued, steadier and more persistent than the raindrops outside. Then Mom's soft voice broke through like a beacon in the darkness. I know you loved me, Tuesday. You and Ricky both. Sobbing, I noticed Ricky shedding tears by my side. Tell your brother I love him, sweetie, Mom said. Ricky leaned in closer, as if the phone was Mom on her deathbed. I love you, Mom, he mustered out through the sobs. I love you too, Ricky, Mom said. Just remember, I love the both of you, sweetie. Always. Her voice started breaking up. I always will. Desperate, I pulled the iPhone closer to me and Ricky. No! Mom! I yelled. Guiding my hand, Ricky held the phone up higher. Try to get a better signal. Now the voices ran wild. The gasping, the groaning, another painful scream. All of them broadcast by this white noise canvas. Mom! Ricky cried. I dragged him toward the front door. Come on! Before Ricky could protest, I led him outside, right onto the front porch and into the cold winter wind. I stopped us right next to Mom's station of rocking chairs. Not even the rainfall could overpower the phone's constant hissing and hums, nor could it suppress those voices. Like an eerie chorus, they continued their cries into the dark night. Mom, please! I yelled at the phone. Ricky grabbed my arm. Let's just go inside. Too focused on the fateful phone call, I yanked my arm away. Mom! I yelled. In a beaming burst, Mom's voice reappeared over the eerie chorus. I'll see you soon, sweetie, she said with a southern softness. I promise. Oh, fuck, Ricky said. Our captivated eyes stared at my iPhone. Joe's name was still on my screen, but that was Mama's voice still soothing us. You and Ricky both, Mom continued, her voice getting lower and lower, overpowered by all the static and groans, by the hissing signal. Both of us weeping messes, Ricky hugged me close. I love you too, Mom, I said. I love you, Ricky added. I'll see y'all soon, Mom continued, her voice fading out like an astronaut's entering a new galaxy. We'll see y'all soon. I felt Ricky's grip tighten around me, as if he was ensuring I wouldn't be leaving with Mom. Soon, the static overtook everything. There were no more voices, and no more Mom, just hissing and rain. Ricky kissed the top of my head. It's all right, he said. It's all right. I know, I replied. Like a demented hijacker, a harsh male voice conquered my phone's airwaves. We'll see you soon, the guttural tone taunted us. What the fuck? Ricky cried. Real soon, the voice continued, sending chills down our spines. Terrified, I pulled the phone closer to me, and then in one cold beep, the call ended. The final connection to our mom was gone. not to mention the connection to whoever just scared the shit out of us. "Call Joe back," Ricky yelled. I didn't respond. Instead, my eyes stayed on Green Cemetery. Fear paralyzed me to the porch. "Tuesday!" I heard Ricky cry. Panicking, he grabbed my phone. "Shit, I'll call him. Who the hell was that?" Still staring at the cemetery, I let Ricky call my husband, and the call went through just fine, just like I expected. A confused Joe told us he heard nothing from our end. Not our voices, not the static, not Mom. And I knew why. Because right when our mysterious call ended, I'd seen the stunning sight awaiting us across the street. The cell phone tower had collapsed during the storm, and now like a bridge, it lay sprawled across Green Cemetery, across all the graves. Of course I hadn't seen the damn thing fall, but I had my suspicions on when it happened. Probably right when Joe called. Ricky followed my gaze. Full of stunned fear, he dropped my iPhone. Not even a terrified cuss word emerged from his lips. He stood there, still as a statue, just like me. The following morning, Ricky and I made the walk to Green Cemetery, out to Mom and Dad's final resting places. And like a fresh grave ornament, the tower had landed right on top of Mom's grave marker. Pieces of the tower's wiring stuck straight into the earth. Uneasy, I looked around Green Cemetery. The nostalgia was gone. Even in the daylight, the graveyard showcased a creepy atmosphere, particularly with that spaceship of a tower and its debris scattered out amongst all the other graves. All I knew for certain was we talked to Mama last night. Somehow and some way, a January miracle had occurred. I just didn't know who else we'd heard, particularly who that deep voice on the other end was, and just how soon we'd be seeing them.